About a year and a half ago, I did a review on the Akron house lifting jacks versus the Vestil house lifting jacks. And I came to the conclusion that the Vestil house lifting jacks were better. I just liked them better. Now, have I changed my mind or not after using these jacks for a year and a half? Let's see. Before I go any further, I just want to say I have a link in the video description for both of these jacks. The exact ones that I've been using for over a year and a half to lift various points of my house. The Vestil and the Akron. Click the links in the video description and you can buy both these jacks. One of my initial complaints about the Akron jacks was this plate. It's a lot thinner than the Vestil jacks. And I was worried that since this beam is 3 separate pieces of wood, that this plate would just bend like this. And it definitely would have. But as you can see, solving the problem is pretty easy. I just put a 6x6 on top of it, and the 6x6 is taking the weight of the pieces of wood pushing down on it. So the plate no longer even takes the weight. So it was a very easy issue to solve. And the Vestil jack, the plate is also attached to the actual jack. It's permanently attached. On the bottom, it's welded to it. Up here, it's attached to the screw part. And I praised that initially. I thought it was a benefit. But after using the jacks for a while, I've come to find that it's not necessarily an advantage for the plate to be attached to the jack like this permanently. With the Vestil jack, the plate is a lot thinner, and I don't like that. I still don't like it. And the plate just sits on top of the tube. It is not attached. It comes right off. Now, there's one instance where this is an advantage. With these jacks, I had trouble fitting them underneath the beam. I had to screw the jack up almost to its highest possible height just to get it to fit under here. And that wasn't good because it left little room to lift the actual beam. So what I ended up doing is you can actually see, I don't know if you can see it, but right here you can see it's cut. That's because I actually cut this tube with a hacksaw. I cut maybe an inch or an inch and a half off to make it fit under here better. So that way I could screw the actual lifting part down as low as it would go. So I could start lifting the house from a lower setting on the jack. And if the plate was welded to the tube, then I would not have been able to do that. So the fact that this plate is a separate piece was advantageous because it enabled me to adjust the size of the jack by cutting it with a hacksaw. So this is also a benefit of the Akron jack. These jacks are easier to use because they have a notch where an adjustable wrench can fit on them. So you just use an adjustable wrench to actually jack these up because of this notch right here. The wrench can just kind of fit right on there, give it some adjustment, and then you can turn the jack, pretty easily. So we just saw how you adjust the Akron jacks. The Vestil jacks have this rod here. And I don't like it because you end up hitting your knuckles on whatever's above this, and you don't really get much leverage. These just they don't turn that easily. It's actually quite difficult. And the point of the house that these are lifting is actually the easiest point to lift. This is over at the corner. The Akron jacks are at the center of the center beam. They were lifting the heaviest point. It had the absolute worst amount of sag in it. This was barely sagging at all. And these things are just struggling to turn. And like I said, the way you do it, you end up busting your knuckles up. It's just, they're not as convenient to use as the Akron jacks. I do just want to say that this post right here, I've been lifting the house for a year and a half, and I just added this. But obviously I have not put the house on it yet. That's why it's wiggling around. So these jacks are still doing all the work of lifting the house. Well, there you have it. After over a year and a half of using these jacks to lift my house, link in the video description, I have concluded that the Akron jacks are a lot better to use. Not only can they lift more weight, they're easier to use, and they cost less money. Link in the video description. Use these exact jacks to lift your house if you need to shore up your foundation. This is in the center of the center beam. It's the heaviest point of the house, and they've done a fine job for over a year and a half. So I'm very confident in their abilities. Easier to use, cost less money, stronger. These jacks are better than the Vestil. Click the link in the description and get yourself as many jacks as you need to lift whatever you need. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.